Infinite Warfare is not a bad game. Now, hear me out on this one, guys. Just hear me out. I know you're automatically going to the dislike button right now, like, oh, it's someone trying to back up Call of Duty. Oh, gonna dislike him. Just listen to the video first, or just, let me know your opinions about what I say in the comments before you start bashing on me just because the title says that I think Infinite Warfare is actually a good game. You're just gonna start bashing in the comments. Watch the damn video first. So, the hate around Infinite Warfare has been insane. It's been so high that people are just automatically saying they're done with Call of Duty. Now, I know that's bullshit. I know they're going to play next year and get the next Call of Duty. And they're probably even the people who are still playing today, because there are still tons of people playing Infinite Warfare. It's not like it's completely dead. So the whole argument that COD is dead is completely bullshit, because a lot of people are still playing. A lot of people are still watching Call of Duty Infinite Warfare videos. But yes, there are a lot of YouTubers who just haven't been making any. That's why there hasn't been as many views in terms of Infinite Warfare, because YouTubers are just stopping it. And I'll kind of explain why people don't like Infinite Warfare. It's not because it's a bad game. That's not why. Because it's not a bad game. Just because you're not enjoying a game or you're not having fun with the game does not make it a bad game. Like, for example, Destiny. I don't have fun in Destiny. I don't have a good time. I've played that game a few times, and it's just boring to me. Is it a bad game? No, it's a great game. So many people love it, and that's because it's their type of game. Now, just because Infinite Warfare isn't your type of game does not mean it's a bad game. It just means you don't like it. You don't enjoy it. You can't just automatically say it's terrible and that nobody can ever like it and that it's dead and gone and everything's over and Call of Duty's going downhill, all that bullshit. You can share your opinions in a reasonable way, but when you just throw out saying it's a terrible game, is complete BS, because that is just not true. And I'll tell you why. Infinite Warfare has a lot of work put into it, and people don't give Infinity Ward enough credit. They kind of just bash them, saying they're terrible, saying they're the worst developers in the game, when they've honestly put together amazing Call of Duties. I mean, just forget about Infinite Warfare for a minute. Not saying it's bad. I do think it's a good game, but just if you forget about that, what other Call of Duties have they made? Call of Duty 4. I know the companies are different now. A lot of people left and stuff, but just pretend Infinite Ward. I always call them Infinite Warfare now because of Infinite Warfare, but Infinity Ward, just pretend they were the same thing. I don't care. I know some people left and may went out to Respawn Entertainment during Modern Warfare 2 and stuff like that, but just hear me out. We got Call of Duty 4, incredible game. Modern Warfare 2, people think it's an incredible game. I am always on the side about that. Call of Duty, I don't know. It's just very unbalanced. I've made a video about why I don't like Modern Warfare 2 that much. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good Call of Duty, but definitely not my favorite. But MW3, great game. Call of Duty Ghosts, people hate it, but they don't really see how amazing it is. I mean, I was just playing Call of Duty Ghosts today, and that's another video I want to make, talking about that Call of Duty Ghosts is not bad at all, but people just love to bash on it for some fucking odd reason. I don't really know the hate on Call of Duty Ghosts. Never understood it. I've always loved that game. Probably one of my favorite Call of Duties, but yeah, and then they come out with Infinite Warfare here, which is also a very good game. And they get bashed on for things that is completely out of their control. For example, supply drops, the fact that it's in the future, the boost jumping, the variants. That is all out of Infinity Ward's control. That is all on Activision's decision. So kind of how the companies work is Activision tells them what to do. They're like, all right, do this, or do that, or do this. And then Infinite Warfare, or Infinity Ward, is like, okay, they get their team together and they put them together. They might add some little things in there, but of course they have to get Activision's permission to make sure it is allowed in their game. And for example, supply drops. I am almost positive they did not want to add supply drops into this game, but Activision wanted it because they're a company. They don't care about the consumers. They don't care about the customers. They care about the money that's given to them. If they see they're not getting much money with supply drops, they will either get rid of them or innovate them or change them in some way. But they are happy with the money they're making from supply drops as of now. So it's going to stay like that for a while. And I've never had a problem with supply drops. And I just don't understand why people hate supply drops so much. And I always try to look at it. I used to hate them in Advanced Warfare, but then I started getting older and I started actually getting a brain capacity. I started actually learning things and educating myself, and started to realize that they're not that bad at all. They're really not. So think of it like this. So supply drops include things that are DLC extra. So basically, they're extra things that you would normally have to just buy. For example, Call of Duty Ghosts, they had extra guns like the Maverick and the Ripper that you can buy for a few bucks, or you buy it with DLC. Not in supply drops. You still have to buy for it. But now you can get it for free, or you can pay money to try to get them from supply drops. I don't see why that's such a big deal, because I know it's all up to chance, and people don't like luck. They don't like having to rely on luck. They like having to rely on skill and their ability to do good in the game. And I agree with that. But these weapons, weapon variants, whatever, the weapons, they don't automatically make it pay to win. People always call it pay to win, when first of all, you don't have to pay for it. You can earn them from just grinding out yourself and getting lucky enough. So it's more like get lucky to win. But even then, it's not pay to win. It's like pay to like get a gun that's a little bit better than another one. Maybe give you a little bit better of a stats on your gun. Is it gonna automatically make you win? Hell no, it's not gonna. It might make you, in some gunfights be like, alright, this gun had a little bit more damage, alright, so he won that gunfight. But that's not that common, it's usually whoever gets the first shot is usually gonna end up getting the kill. And if that's not, then it just has to do with skill. If you know the spawns right, you're aiming the guns in the right position, you're getting the best accuracy in place, that is all up to skill. And people like to just throw it, oh, he had better variant, so that's why he won that gunfight. Oh, I don't have the elite variant of this is why I can't do good with it. It's like, that's just complete bullshit in my opinion. I really do. For example, Black Ops 3, you also had the brand new weapon that they came out with, the Peacekeeper Mark II. That was just like the ICR, but a little bit better. It's basically like an ICR with better stats. And you're telling me that's pay to win. No, and first of all, you don't have to pay for it, like I've said a million times. You don't have to. I mean, it will give you a better chance. No, it's still the same odds. It's just money is easier to acquire, some people would say, than to grind out Call of Duty. But I don't see the problem with it. And even in a game like Call of Duty 4, what is so bad about supply drops? First of all, there's nothing that's not cosmetic in there. So why is it a problem? Just pretend like they're not in there. Honestly, you can pretend they're not in there in Infinite Warfare, even with variants. Just pretend they're not in there. Don't even open them. If you really want to stick with the stock variants, just do that. If you're a good enough player, you will not be complaining that somebody else has a gun that's a little bit better than yours. Sometimes they're not even that much better. They give you like a freaking shotgun attachment or something that's not even going to help you, like with some of the variants. So I just don't see the complaints and why they're such a big deal. But people just have to complain. And you can earn variants in the game without even opening supply drops. You can get the salvage bonuses, and boom, you can just craft them. So I don't see the problem. But to be 100% honest, I kind of like supply drops. And that's because it gives me something to drive for. It gives me something to work for. Because there's always that point in Call of Duty where you're like Prestige Master or pretty high, you have all the camos, you have most attachments unlocked, and you're just like, alright, now I'm just playing and killing people, and it's not fun anymore. But supply drops give you something to grind for. You can be like, alright, I'm going to grind out these supply drops and try to get every single item in the game. Just like in Advanced Warfare, you had the whole armory with all different variants. Try to grind out, try to get every variant for every gun. That's fun. It gives you something to work for, because you don't want to get to that point in the game where there's nothing to do. For example, Call of Duty 4. The game's been out for what, 100 years? I mean, wait, did I actually just say 100 years? Alright, I just had the biggest brain fart in my life. The game's been out for like 10 years in terms of Call of Duty 4, and then they come out with a remaster, and it's the same game, just with better graphics, and, better quality, better hit detection, better spawns, whatever. And it's still the same game. So people are, playing it, and then it's going to get boring after a few days, because, like, I've been playing this for the past 10 years anyways, so there's nothing new in it, and it's like, alright, it's kind of boring. And they added supply drops, and it gave me something to actually want to play the game for. They added new camos, new kits, new weapon or character customization options, new melee weapons. That gives me something to work for. It gives me something to drive for, and gives me a reason to play Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. Same as Infinite Warfare and Black Ops 3. There is no reason for me to go back to Black Ops 3 in terms of multiplayer. I mean, zombies I'll go back to, but multiplayer, there was no other reason other than supply drops for me to go back to that game, because there's nothing else I need in that game. I'm like Prestige Master, I have Dark Matter. What else am I going to go for? the weapons, the cool weapons that they added in, the cool melee weapons, all that kind of crap that they added in supply drops, I could work for it and try to get it. I don't have to pay. People act like you have to automatically pay for supply drops, but that is completely false. You do not have to pay for supply drops. You can grind for them yourself. It was a little bit different in Advanced Warfare. They did make it so you had to get them from advanced supply drops, which you could only really pay for. I mean, you could get them every now and then, but that's a different story. We're talking about Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare here, and how they're doing supply drops nowadays, and they're completely different now. And yeah, I think supply drops are a good thing, and I think they should keep them. But if they really want to please the fans, because people have to obviously complain, and they're a bunch of cunts for that reason, I think it would be best for them to keep it cosmetic for the upcoming Call of Duties. And I think they will probably change that in the next coming years, just because of the insane amount of complainers. But I don't mind it. I really don't. So next thing that people love to complain about in Infinite Warfare specifically is the futuristic setting and the boost jumping. Now, let me talk about this. I agree with you guys. I agree. We've had enough of the future. We've had it for the past 3 Call of Duties, and it's getting boring now, and it's like, alright, we want something different. You know, it's getting abusive. But you can't just call the game trash because it's something that's been going around for a lot. Like, you know, I know people like things for uniqueness, and they don't like things that are the same, but what if Infinite Warfare came out, and when Advanced Warfare came out, right after Call of Duty Ghosts, right after when everyone was like, alright, we want something new. They gave us Infinite Warfare. People will be praising that game. Like, they did praise Advanced Warfare. Now, don't get me wrong, I did see some haters in Advanced Warfare, but there was a ton of people who loved Advanced Warfare at the time. Now, obviously, as time went on and they started putting guns only available in supply drops, that's when people started getting mad. But when the game first came out, people absolutely loved that game. They loved the future. They were like, alright, boost jumping's different. You know, futuristic stuff's cool. If Infinity War did that, I can't even fucking say that ever. I think you guys have found that out by now. But if they did that back then, people would be bawling their eyes out, freaking out like this is the coolest thing ever. But it's because it came at 2 games after 2 games that were very similar. They had boost jumping, they had supply drops. Automatically, people decide to hate on it, and it's because they started making this game during Call of Duty Ghosts. They didn't really talk with their other companies. They didn't really discuss, alright, what are we going to do? We should all do something different. No, they kind of said we should do all the same thing because they were all going to do what they thought the fans wanted at that time. And at that time, the fans wanted future when they started making Infinite Warfare. So that's why they came up with this system. I'm sure if the companies had an actual choice, they would do something different. They would talk with each other. I'm sure Treyarch would talk with Infinity Ward, and Infinity Ward would talk with Sledgehammer and stuff like that. And they would all talk to each other and be like, all right, we got to do this or this or this. But Activision just isn't the smartest, and Activision obviously forces them to do this kind of stuff. Activision said, all right, Future's doing good at this time, start working on a future game. All right, Future's doing good at this time, start working on a future game. All right, Future's doing good at this time, and start working on a future game. That is exactly how it went, because Black Ops 3 started its progress during Black Ops 2 when everyone loved that. Advanced Warfare started their progress around MW3 when everybody wanted change. Same as Ghost, everyone wanted change, and that's when Infinite Warfare started. But the next Call of Duty, which people just automatically say, oh, this is Call of Duty's direction. Every Call of Duty knows it's going to be future boost jumping. What the hell? Bullshit. Even though they can just go back to the old Call of Duties if they really wanted to, or play Modern Warfare Remastered, but they still complain because everybody has to fucking complain for some reason. But if you just wait a year, because this next Call of Duty, I would not give any type of excuse. I wouldn't, because they started making this next game around Advanced Warfare, which, yes, I guess if they started like midway, they would hear the fans that say they don't like the whole boost jumping thing. So I'm positive Sledgehammer is going to bring us something that's not in the future. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Just let me know in the comments how you feel about what I was talking about in this video, and we can get into some interesting conversations possibly in the comment section below. Why do you not like Call of Duty this year? Why do you like it? Why do you agree with me? Why do you not agree with me? Let me know. Don't just dislike the video just because you're salty because I actually enjoy the game. But yes, I'm agreeing with most people. It's not the greatest Call of Duty in the world. It is not. It is probably one of my least favorite Call of Duties, to be honest. It's definitely not in the top 5 favorite. It's probably one of my least favorite. But is it a bad game? no. It still has some good things about it. Campaign is amazing story. Zombies is really fun so far with the one map, and multiplayer is pretty solid. It could be a lot better, yes, but it's pretty good. It's okay. I'll put it at that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys in my next one. Peace out.